Whether it's risk of plummeting hundreds of feet, having huge rocks falling from above, or drowning by a flash flood, hikes can be extremely dangerous. Attempting these extreme hikes are only for the most daring. If you're acrophobic, this may not be the video for you. Coming in at number 10, we have El Caminito del Rey in Spain. The trail is built on a steel path and runs for 2 miles in length around the Chorro and Gatanejo Falls. Over 100 years ago, it was built for workers maintaining a hydroelectric plant. It has since been fully converted to a hiking trail for those willing to take on the challenge. Its pathway is only 1 meter in width and sits over 100 meters above the river below. In the last 20 years, there have been multiple deaths on this trail. This comes to no surprise considering the thin pathway without protective barriers. Some of the path's concrete has worn away, leaving many air gaps to get past with only the support of thin metal beams. Mount Pinatubo takes the number 9 spot for this list. Located in Luzon, Philippines, the trail sits on an active volcano. The 1991 eruption was the second largest volcanic eruption in the 20th century, killing over 800 people and causing millions of dollars in damage to the surrounding area. 72 hikers have fallen victim to these volcanic damages. The actual hiking trail is quite easy, but it's the volcano's tendency to erupt which makes it a dangerous one to take up. For number 8, we have Via Ferrata in Italy and Austria. The name means Iron Way in Italian and was scaled in the 15th century by Europeans in the Alps. The route was also used for troops in World War I. There are still remains of military huts along the pathway. The trail includes cables, ropes, walkways and suspension bridges for an 8-hour total hike time if the longest route is taken. The trail height ranges from a few hundred to several thousand feet. To limit accidents, there exists a cable that climbers can attach themselves to so that they don't fall very far. However, even with these safety measures, serious injury can still occur if one falls into the mountainside at a bad angle. Spot number 7 is taken by Half Dome in Yosemite, California. This hike includes 17 miles of rocky terrain. The trail goes up to a 4,800 foot elevation and has a cable route for 8 of the trail miles. Hikers pass Vernal and Nevada Falls on the trail. There are a total of 6 fatalities from falling between 1919 when the cables were erected through 2011. The last fatality occurred on May 21, 2018. Falling isn't the only danger, as lightning can be a risk too. 5 hikers were struck by lightning on July 27, 1989, resulting in 2 fatalities. Number 6, Ghost of the Maze, in Canyonlands in Utah. Around 2,000 visitors come to the maze every year. Its red rock dead ends and maze-like trail definitely make the hike live up to its name. What makes this one hazardous is its tendency for flash floods, dangerous rock falls, and the risk for becoming lost in the labyrinth-like pathways within the rock formations. Going out for this hike alone especially is extremely dangerous, as communication in a place like this is key. In a similar part of Utah, Aaron Ralston was canyoneering alone and got his hand caught between a boulder and the canyon wall after the boulder toppled down. Despite his attempts to escape the boulder, he was trapped. He even recorded footage of himself saying goodbye to his loved ones as he thought he was going to die.
My name's Aaron Ralston. My parents are Donna and Larry Ralston of Englewood, Colorado. Whoever finds this, please make an attempt to get it to them. Be sure of it, I would appreciate it.
After 5 days, he was only able to escape after self-amputating his arm. So it's always important to hike with at least a partner in the Canyonlands. And at number 5, the GR20 in Corsica. Being the longest trail running from north to south in Corsica, it has a total length of 180 kilometers. It takes most people 15 days to complete. Despite being a really beautiful hike to go on, it is one of the most dangerous. A lot of the trail goes up and down with steep ridges. Thunderstorms can come quickly, making it hard to keep a steady footing with their strong winds. Fog can also take over, making navigation more challenging. 2 hikers at least are required for extra safety. Casualties are reported every year on the GR20 due to falling. It's been considered the most difficult trail in Europe by many. The Drakensberg Traverse in South Africa takes the number 4 spot. The start of this trail is very hazardous as hikers must climb 2 chain ladders against the side of the mountain. If they lose their footing, it's a large fall which is almost sure to be fatal. After the ladder climbs, there are rock scrambles to work through. Deaths are reported every year despite fatalities not being officially recorded since 1985, which at the time it was up at 55 deaths. If the falling dangers weren't enough, reports surfaced in May 2016 that hikers were being attacked and robbed by bandits wielding clubs and accompanied by ferocious dogs. However, the risks are worth it for experienced climbers as the view from the cliff is breathtaking. So number 3 goes to the Cascade Saddle in New Zealand. Known for its scenic camera shots and the filming for Lord of the Rings, the Cascade Saddle is a hike not to miss for those willing to take a challenge. The trail is 4 days worth of hiking and involves many areas of slippery rocks and cliffs. It's noted as the most dangerous hiking trail in New Zealand, with multiple reported fatalities. As many as 12 people have died in the last few years due to falling down the cliffs or not preparing for the treacherous conditions properly. Fog and wind aren't uncommon on the Cascade Saddle, making it much harder to keep navigation and footing. The second most dangerous hike on this list is Angel's Landing in Utah. The Angel's Landing is a 1,500-foot tall rock formation in southwest Utah. Although being a relatively short hike at 5 miles, it attracts many hikers. To start off the hike, there's a sandstone ridge involving very steep drop-offs. The final stage of the trail requires walking a stone staircase with only 1 chain railing to hold. The width of the stairs is only enough for 1 person at a time. 1 slip-up can be disastrous, with a huge fall to the bottom of the cliff below. At least 5 people have fallen to their death, as reported by the National Park Service. Many more have fallen, but they've been rescued. Those hikers who manage to get past these potential perils are rewarded with an incredible view of the national park. The final spot goes to what is said to be the most dangerous hike in the world. Mount Hua Chaun in China is located in the Shaanxi province in the Qingling mountain range. The mountain is over 2,000 meters in height and holds a lot of religious significance. The extremely thin wooden pathways along the mountainside make this hike very precarious to people. Only a singular chain with a wire attached to you is used to hold on to prevent falling the precipitous drop to a certain depth, 7,000 feet below. One part of the hike even involves no wooden planks and only the use of small divots in the rocks to pass through this part of the pathway. Fog can make this hike even more daunting, unable to see what's to come ahead. It would take huge courage to give this hike a shot, especially knowing that the hike takes around 100 lives every year. Most of the deaths actually come from the stair parts of the hike. They're almost vertical and slip-ups are much easier to make there than on the wooden beams. Although certain safety measures have been put in place over the years by officials, it still remains the hiking trail with the most deaths worldwide. So that was my list of the top 10 most dangerous hikes in the world. Let me know if you've been on any of these trails or if you plan to in the future. Subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything if you'd like to stay updated with more content. As always, I hope you enjoyed and leave a like if you did. See you in the next video.